What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I'm finally going to be talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, I know a lot of you guys are wondering, hey, where the heck is this guy's movie review? It's been out for almost a week and we still don't have anything from Clayton. Does he hate the movie? Is he pulling a Dominion where he watched it and he's not going to talk about it? No, none of that's true. I actually quite like the movie. We're going to be going into some details about my problems with it because I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I had a great time with this thing. But basically, as far as where I've been, I've just been super busy with life, guys. Long story short, I would actually really appreciate it if all of you guys kept my dad humbly in your prayers. His name is Timothy. Yeah, we've been kind of going through a lot over the last few days, and I would really appreciate it if you guys pray for my family in general. Jurassic World Rebirth kind of came out at a weird time to where a lot of the stuff was happening that I did not anticipate. Anyways, as far as negatives go, because I do want to actually talk about some of the stuff I didn't like about the movie right off the bat. While I do think Jurassic World Rebirth is definitely a return to form, it's got a very clunky third act. The Distortus Rex seems somewhat unimportant in the film, and there's a very strange title sequence that leaves a lot of questions about the overall film and franchise. Some of the jokes don't land very well, but other than that, the actual film itself, I do think Jurassic World Rebirth nailed the tone of the older Jurassic Park movies while also having like insanely cool dinosaur stuff and some fun characters that I actually really enjoyed. Is this as good as Jurassic Park 1? No, I actually don't even think it's as good as The Lost World. But I will say that in terms of everything else, it's kind of sitting around that Jurassic World area for me. It could improve over time. Again, I've only seen the film once, and I do anticipate seeing it many more times in the future. So, gotta say, straight off the bat, a lot of people were complaining about some of the early stuff between Zora and Duncan. I quite liked that. I felt like it needed time to breathe. Sure, it wasn't as fleshed out as it could have been, as we all know, or at least if you don't know, this movie was rushed. Like, they made this film incredibly quick. From start to finish, I think the turnaround was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years tops. And for a Jurassic Park film, that is very, very insane to say the least. Speaking of which, you can clearly tell if you're a Jurassic Park fan, this movie is basically a lot of very old ideas that have been stitched together that were left over from the Lost World Jurassic Park or even the original film from 1993 that never got adapted into a movie. So in essence, they've taken a bare bones, simple retread rerun plot, added in some of the action sequences that were done for the Neptune Adventure outline, or maybe even some other outlines of Jurassic Park 2 and stuff from Michael Crichton's novels, and made a very lean movie that is not above and beyond. It could have been way better, but it also could have been way worse, especially with a short turnaround. Yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth is that. It is your break glass in case of emergency Jurassic Park sequel. It's being received mixed. I mean, critically, it's gotten like a 52%, which ironically is like on the upper end of the Jurassic Park movies critical reception, but the audience score is sitting at a 72. I don't care much for Rotten Tomatoes, but that is kind of where you get your consensus. I care much more about IMDb, which has a 6.3 out of 10. That makes complete logical sense for me, especially in relation to the Lost World Jurassic Park and some of the other movies in this franchise. So yeah, I think that the critics are pretty mixed on the movie. Audiences seem to be much more positive. When it comes to the film in general, I think it builds out the world of the Jurassic Park universe in some very subtle ways that are actually really fun. It does remind me quite a lot of Jurassic Park 3. The Dunkleosteus and Megalodon scenes, as well as that weird amphibian creature that we have on the island of Saint-Hubert. Very interesting. By the way, I want to talk a lot more about this film in the future. I think I'm going to have time to make a lot more videos about the lore, about where they can go in a sequel, and about the actual making of stuff for this movie, so stay tuned. The action set pieces in this film were written primarily in the 90s as far as like an outline goes. They're really good, man. River raft sequence, Mosasaurus sequence. The sequences where the Spinosauruses are like standouts to me, where they attack people on the boat or even afterwards. The sequence with the Distortus Rex doing something crazy at the end of the movie, which I'll probably make a whole video on by itself. I quite liked it. Yes, it's silly. Yes, some of the stuff is dumb and over the top, but there's one joke in particular involving the character Xavier behavior going out by himself in a Mutodon, like on the island. I don't know, man. I quite like this movie. I understand if you didn't, but for me as a Jurassic Park fan, I'm gonna echo what my friend Ivan Ortega said in his review, where he's like, he doesn't understand why the movie's kind of being chastised the way it is by critics, even though he sees the flaws, because this is actually the movie a lot of Jurassic Park fans were asking for a very long time. So like, there's that. I will say that my favorite sequences in the film were with the Spinosaurus, Mosasaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the other two scenes involving a Quetzalcoatlus and Titanosaurus. The Titanosaurus scene in particular was very interesting because it kind of evoked a lot of those feelings from the original Jurassic Park. A lot of the tactical gear and stuff they had in the movie I really quite enjoyed, especially with the rocket that is on the end of the thing that takes the blood from the dinosaurs. I quite liked all of that. I thought the dinosaur designs were great. And really, the movie itself kind of boils down to an incredibly oversimplistic plot, which you may either hate or love. It's not trying to do anything crazy or big or original. In fact, the opening of the movie with the Snickers bar that everybody's been talking about, no spoilers in this video, but that happening and, that causing the Distortus Rex to get released, it was interesting. It was kind of like a meta, viewpoint of making another Jurassic Park movie. In ways, it almost felt like they were basically telling people that hated the Jurassic Park sequels, we don't care, we're making more. And it was even saying something really interesting with paralleling it with Jurassic World Dominion, which has this very strange Jurassic Park logo going to the screen, and this one has a zoom out of a red Mortal Kombat Armageddon style opening with the logo. It really did seem like, we know you're going to critique the heck out of us and we don't care, do your worst. But part of me likes that because it's it felt like a combination of a Jurassic Park opening or Gareth Edwards' Godzilla mixed in with the commentary of Scream. The other thing about the movie, though, is that this plot is incredibly simplistic. It is a better, more satisfying version of Jurassic Park 3, in my personal opinion. I know a lot of you were kind of upset with me that I wasn't a big fan of Jurassic Park 3, but I'll say this, guys. There's a lot of stuff in that movie, and I probably will do a full-on review of it in the future, but the stuff in Jurassic Park 3 that I kind of have a problem with is I'll give you an example. When the plane lands on the island, if you actually pay attention to what's going on, Cooper runs a mile in about a minute and a half, quicker than any military person on record or even Usain Bolt. And he does this while fighting the Spinosaurus in the woods and getting attacked by it. It looks like the plane turns around, so he should be coming from the opposite side of the woods. There's stuff like that in that movie. When you really pay attention to it, you're like, okay, wait a minute.
That's Cooper! Stop!
But with this film, this movie does crazy stuff too, but I believe it way more, and it is still fresh, so my opinion could go down on it or up depending on what happens in the future. But I quite like the movie. I quite enjoyed a lot of what was going on in this thing, and it feels like a much more satisfying and cool Jurassic Park 3, especially with the Spinosaurus. These things were really cool in the movie. Loved them. The movie also has a lot of adaptational material from the Lost World Jurassic Park novel from Michael Crichton, and they do it quite well. I feel like Martin Krebs' character was a much better version of Lewis Dodson than what we got in Dominion. The Mutodons I still don't like, but the Distortus Rex looks incredible. The Mutodons just seem too cheesy to me, man. I'm really not the biggest fan of them. Now, all in all, I think the movie just has some really great dinosaur action sequences and some great character stuff. I don't really see anything overtly political in this movie. It seems very basic. If it's too basic for you to where you're like, well, I care way more about seeing a movie that goes above and beyond, I get it. I understand. I think we actually do need to have those critiques that will help make a better movie in the future. In fact, I actually think that David Koepp and Gareth Edwards can make a much better sequel than this movie if they're given the keys for one more go around. But for the people saying that it's it's just an okay film, I totally get it, man. I'm biased as a Jurassic Park fan, but I will also say that this movie does nail the tone and has incredible dinosaur set pieces in action that I have been waiting to see forever, and I actually think they do it really, really well. The ending leaves a lot of interesting questions for where they could go with the sequel. I would love to see them incorporate more people from the older films back into a newer movie, but for the very short turnaround, for the fact that this is just a bunch of older set pieces stitched together into a new story. As simplistic as it is, and I am aware of a lot of the problems that the movie does have, I have to admit, I had an incredible time watching Jurassic World Rebirth. I still think Jurassic Park and the Lost World are at the top. The bottom of the list is definitely Jurassic World Dominion for me. That feels like a Hallmark Channel movie. But Jurassic World Rebirth, I really enjoyed quite a lot. And I totally see why the audience has received it the way it has. But yeah, guys, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions on the movie for my initial reaction. This is less of a movie review in full because I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life. Again, I would greatly appreciate your prayers for my family. But yeah, I'll be talking a lot more about this movie in the future. I want to go see it again immediately. Definitely not the greatest Jurassic Park movie ever made. It's still kind of better than a lot of the really campy ones. Please let me know what you think this movie can do better in the comments down below. And also let me know what you think a sequel could do in the future for Jurassic World Rebirth, because they're probably going to make one. It's making a lot of money already. Anyways, guys, thank you all again for watching my videos. It really does mean a lot to me. I've been doing this for a long time, and thank you so much for watching this stuff. I'll be talking about all the Jurassic Park movies in the future, so whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.